L'Shem Hashem Na'aseh v'Natzliach. We know this week's Parsha is Korach. And today's topic is do it for the sake of your children. Stop the fighting, bickering, and quarreling. We know Moshe Rabbeinu had a cousin called Korach, which was extremely wealthy, an extremely prominent member of the nation of Israel. But he started a terrible dispute and fight. He caused dissent and quarreling against our supreme leader and prophet Moshe in this week's Parsha over the position of high priest, Kohen Gadol. Korach tells Moshe, Rav lachem, you, Moshe and Aaron, have taken all the power for yourselves, and everybody's holy. And he accuses Moshe of a terrible crime, that Moshe Rabbeinu appointed Aaron, his older brother, as the high priest, as the Kohen Gadol, not because God said, because Moshe just loved Aaron and favored Aaron, not by divine and godly direction. And basically he's calling for anarchy and undermining Moshe Rabbeinu's leadership. And his punishment is very swift and very miraculous. A marvelous miracle happens, and Korach and his entire congregation, gang, get swallowed alive. They fall into a hole. The earth opens its mouth, and they get swallowed alive and go to Jahannam. And the Hafetz Chaim writes about this ordeal. We see how much God is sensitive and despises quarreling, bickering, hatred, disunity amongst the nation of Israel. We know the greatest blessing is Shalom. One of the names of God is Shalom, peace. And somebody that because of personal vendetta, because of jealousy, because of power grabbing, because of money, starts fighting, it's so dangerous. First of all, the mother of all sins happens when you begin a fight, because it becomes like World War III. Any secret weapon and nuclear weapon you could use to win the fight, you'll use. So we see, unfortunately, when two people are in a fight, in a quarrel, in a dispute, they'll say unlimited lashon hara, slander, defamation. They'll embarrass each other in public. There's unlimited amount of sinat chinam, hatred, baseless hatred, and jealousy, and it's just a avalanche of sin and bad blood, the opposite of shalom, which is the greatest of all blessings and the mother of all blessing. And it's really the Satan has a field day. It has a Super Bowl party when he sees that Jews are fighting, because in order to have their side win, they're willing to pull any dirty trick. And the Midrash says, look how dangerous for your children it is. Be very careful before you start a fight. And Machloket in the nation of Israel. Because usually we know that the Bet Din, the Sanhedrin, the earthly court, cannot punish anybody unless they're at least bar mitzvah. That's how the Jewish Supreme Court, the Bet Din, works. God's court is even more merciful. God usually doesn't send anybody divine punishment unless they're 20 years old. But in the case of Korach, even infants were swallowed into the ground. Any part of his mafia, Korach's mafia and gang, were swallowed alive into the land. This shows us how dangerous it is and how much these people that start fights are enemies of God, that he wants their entire camp, an entire group, even their children, they be destroyed. And the Hafetz Chaim says, we people, we love our children more than anything. We're willing to sacrifice our own life in order for the betterment of our children. And if anybody lays a finger on our children, we are willing to fight tooth and nail to save their life. And we literally, like a lion, like a female lion, attack the person that's harming our children. So the Hafetz Chaim says, how before, just because you're jealous or you were a little bit offended or because of money, why start World War III against your brother and sister over some $500 or some inheritance, and then say every dirty word and dirty Lashon Hara? Have mercy on your children, because we saw that the children, for the sake of, if not for the sake of God and for the sake of Mashiach coming, have mercy and pity on your own children. Because once you start this fight, this quarreling, God knows, only God knows when it's going to end. And unfortunately, it opens the Pandora box to unlimited amount of hatred, jealousy, Lashon Hara, humiliation. And it's so heartbreaking in our Persian Jewish community. It's really, it makes me feel bad when I know too many brothers and cousins, because their fathers had a dispute, an argument, to this day their grandchildren don't talk to each other, don't go to each other's bar mitzvahs, don't go to each other's weddings, are excommunicated from each other. This is what's stopping Mashiach to come. So may Hashem help us to be wise, to realize that you may be the winner by saying, oh, I'm not going to let in and I'm going to claim my rights, but you're really the loser because you're stopping Mashiach coming, and God forbid you're putting your children in danger. So may Hashem give us the fortitude to always seek peace and have mercy on our children.